Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. Well, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 2:30 in our old England today. My delicious little babies. It's a light blue sky, a few not so very nice grey and white fluffy clouds, sun shining, the sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray, and it's rather chilly and the wind seems to have dropped. Look at this, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so that's the weather forecast. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright, yes. So, what is it that I want to talk about? So, first of all, I've just heard, what is it? Is it India Today? They have millions of followers, subscribers on old YouTube. And is it the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? Well, she's been sentenced. Well, we don't like this word. We seem to be hearing a lot of it, to death. Now, I was listening to this. It was just over 5 minutes long. Anyway, you'll see it on YouTube, my delicious little babies can. And I was listening to this, and I thought to myself, because somebody was trying to give a different viewpoint here, my delicious little babies, on well, I suppose why they feel that she should not have been sentenced to death, my delicious little babies, okay? But the fact of the matter is, well, okay, if only according to what I read on the channel, my delicious babies, only according to what I read, because I have not really been following this piece of news to do with Bangladesh. I mean, I do know that, like I said, that they're actually trying to sort the country out at the moment, okay? You know, because there's been a lot as well, you know, the way it's been treated and, you know, the mess that's there, okay? So I haven't really been following a lot, but what I will tell you is that it was, from what I read, that she was actually heard saying, I don't know if it's a tape or something, you know, to do with protesters or something, you know what I mean? Well, the fact of the matter is, first of all, what we've got to ask ourselves is why would ones be protesting? So if everything is hunky-dory, tickety-boo in the country and there's no problems at all, then why would anybody be protesting? I would have thought that it's ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense, okay? But of course, it's not going to sit with everybody, with the Prime Minister, to be put to death. But if she ordered for protesters to be either, I'm just saying, either killed, and she certainly was not getting any first aid to them, well, what type of woman is this? I mean, she may have been a Prime Minister, sorry. Yeah, stumbled there. But again, I'm just asking a question. What kind of woman is she, you know, to treat a part of a population like that? You see, you have to ask yourself a question. So when ones are trying to stick up for her and everything, well, we have to listen to different sides. I think I'm going to listen to some more to do with this, okay? So I can maybe try and get a more of a balanced view, looking at things from a different angle, okay? Anyway, so yeah. This one here, my delicious little babies, this upload happens to have 1.42 million subscribers, my delicious little babies, and it is called, they're all on YouTube, my delicious little babies, Insider, capital I, space, capital W with, space capital D David space capital Z Zhang ZHANG. Okay, my delicious babies, I'm not talking to other uploaders who know who this is. I'm talking to any of our delicious little babies who do not know. So, should read once tapped into the old space bar in YouTube, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest inside with David Zhang, okay? The video should read, what is Chinese nature? It's just over 10 minutes long, my delicious little babies. China! So I'll just repeat that again for you. What is Chinese nature? Yes. This video, especially at the start, is not showing a very nice Sarge. It's showing a tea leafing, thieving going on. And actually towards the end as well, actually, my delicious little babies. And it's showing them, you know, like in one part, if this is a correct video, like, you know, like you have little like shopping stalls, you know what I mean, like a market. And then they're just sort of taking it and just eating, you know, supposedly the best part of the vegetable or something like this. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, my delicious little babies, now then. Tick that one off. Now we've got Not In That Way, Not In That Way, our lovely The Space Charlie Space Ward Space show. So it's all the capitals at the beginning, you know, capital T, capital C, capital W, okay, and that's capital S, okay, my delicious babies. He's up to 158,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it's really lovely, you know, like I said, not in that way with him, but it's really, really lovely to see him back, okay, because I'm going back years ago when we were listening, you know, there was, thousands, millions of us listening to the Charlie Ward show, and yeah, and he had some absolutely banging guests on. Now, his past two videos that he's uploaded particularly caught my attention. Oh, they're also on Rumble, and you can also go on the charliewardshow.com. Should anybody, sorry, please and thank you, have any form of an interest. And on Rumble, they're up to 208,000 subscribers. 208,000, sorry, subscribers. And there was a video yesterday and a video today. The video that was uploaded about 30 odd minutes was to do with our lovely, and may she rest in peace. I did do a video quite a while back, okay, to do with her dear Janet, bless her. I hope, bless her beautiful dear little soul, not in that way, that she's resting in peace, but I'm pretty sure that she will not be. Because she was doing all of the Fall of the Cabal. It's called Fall of the Cabal, okay? You can actually type it in even in DuckDuckGo, okay? And, you know, and then you can listen to it. Well, I listened to them years ago, okay, my delicious little babies anyway. Absolutely fantastic the way that dear Janet put it together, and a dear partner, you know what I mean? Anyway, and then the other one today was Charlie talking to, so Charlie was talking to dear Janet yesterday, and Charlie was talking to dear Robert David Steele. Now, he'd done an awful lot of research, my delicious babies, and very sadly, he too is no longer with us, okay? So very, very sad, and I hope that his dear self, I hope, dear David, that you're resting in peace. But again, I do not feel that any of them are my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we were informed, you know, everybody was informed that very sadly they passed away. But, you know, anyway, the world, you know, as far as I'm concerned, is not in it anymore. The world has lost, you know, really a couple of, you know, wonderful uploaders, wonderful researchers. Do you understand what I mean, okay? Well worth a listen to those two videos, my delicious little babies, okay? But it was just so very lovely to see them again our dear Janet and dear Robert. It really, really was. So thank you, dear Charlie. Oh, bless him. And I hope that you're feeling much better, dear Charlie. Oh, bless. He's had a terrible problem with his throat, you know. Bless his dear little soul. But I hope you get better, our little lovely. Now then, no, because he was such a wonderful to listen to. There were many uploaders like our lovely, who I was listening to years and years before that, which is our lovely dear davidike.com. Okay, so, you know, years before I was listening to Dear David, you know, but it's lovely to take a trip down memory lane and to see, you know what I mean, all that time ago, you know what I mean, when we were all listening. That was what was so wonderful. Anyway, so the other one I'd like to advertise, which I do, is our lovely, and with anybody, like I said, not in that way, our lovely Mornings with Mel Care. She's at 203,000 subscribers on Rumble. Martin Baby. She does have her own show as well, the Mel K Show. Okay, and she's selling her book as well. You know, her book's just like because she's so lovely, blessed, our dear little Mel and dear little Rob. You know, her dear husband. You know, not in that way, but they're just such a lovely couple, and they work extremely well together. And our lovely dear David Arkwell himself too. You know, he's selling his books. Okay. So it's just absolutely super duper delicious and wonderful. Anyway, please, I'd really like you to take a listen, you know, if you can, if you haven't crossed my channel before, please and thank you. And if you can, you know, subscribe to them, you know, because you will learn an awful lot. My delicious little babies, anyway. So, what came into my noddle? Oh, sorry, something else I want to say. So you got our lovely UK column, okay, and yeah, because you see, they're being brought back on YouTube now, my delicious babies, when in 2020, 2021, ones are being banged off for telling the truth. For myself, I had videos removed calling it medical misinformation. It was not medical, sorry, see, I'm stumbling here, I'm not changing my video. It was not medical misinformation. It certainly was not YouTube. And there we are, and they damn well know it as well. It's just making myself wonder. It's so very lovely to see all these channels coming back, because what they've been doing is bit by bit, okay? But what I want to know is what there we are really going on here. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? I feel that part of it is because there's been so much mistrust, and of course, probably they may have found, I don't know. I do not, you know, look at the data on all this, mind you. They're all looking at our data, aren't they, my delicious little babies, anyway? Maybe there's not so very much listening to YouTube or something, do you know what I mean, as what maybe there was, you know, so they're having to get all of the fabulous uploaders back on my delicious little babies. But yeah, well, is it The Independent yet? And I heard it on our lovely dear Debbie, oh, hold on. Sorry, dear Debbie, hold on. I'm going to find you now. Oh, come on. In Edgeway's matron, I'm trying to remember. Oh, here we go. This is capital W word, capital I in, capital E edge, lowercase way, ways, sorry, capital M matron. So it's all the words together, words in Edgway's matron. She's now up to, I think she's up to about, is it 151 or 100? Sorry, 1.51 or 53,000 subscribers now, Martin. But oh, she's so wonderful, you know. But like I say, not in that way. Anyway, I was listening to her video yesterday evening. Yes, I'd already heard this, because I personally do not read newspapers. So thank you, our lovely Debbie, as well. I personally do not read The Independent, but anyway, it's very rare you'll ever see me look at a newspaper, mad to the stuff babies. Anyway, yeah, so it seems that they're coming out with it now, aren't they? To do the old COVID. And, well, is it worrying about the families? I don't think they're worrying about the families, not at all. Because everywhere was doing the best to shut everybody down so that information wouldn't get out. It's just like that poxy COVID inquiry on YouTube. What a crock of shart. It's just made to look like they're doing something. But I would say, after listening to this, with our lovely Debbie, who I've just advertised, and our lovely dear UK column, yeah? I'd say, there we are, that there's no way of hiding it any longer. My delicious little babies, what they have done. Do you know what I mean? All told to keep the trap shut. Amazing what ones will do. For ching 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 to keep their, there we are, for even sake, to keep their jobs, isn't it? Sorry, excuse me, just shut their traps and lie to the public, put crap in the newspapers for ones who very rarely go and research. I mean, of course, you know, you have got some, you know, researchers who, you know, have to have this painstaking time of going through these newspapers. Basically feeding our population, it seems, who read newspapers a load of shart, but missing out the most super duper important thing ever, which is genocide and democide. There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? And for that, our lovely dear David Icke, his lovely dear son, and their lovely dear friend, our lovely dear UK column, and there's many others, okay? Our lovely Charlie Ward, and like I said, many others, all got banged off for years. And they've only recently now been allowed back on. But like I said, what's all this about, and why is it all now coming out? There we are. And why is it all now coming out now? Of course, you have the BBC, them lying through the teeth. That's all a crock of shite anyway, okay? I wouldn't even, to be honest, I wouldn't even pay any attention to any of that, okay? What they're trying to do now, so that, there we are, so they're bombarding us with other things now, okay? But the fact of the matter is, I feel so sorry. I'll repeat this again, as I have throughout my years of being on YouTube. My heart goes out, and I feel so very sorry for anybody out there, very sorry, you know, to say this, who took this injection, very sadly, jibby jab. And that's not me being sarcastic. For the heartache and the pain that this has all caused. And of course, there we are, continues to cause. Because we do not fully know the full side effects of this. We did at the beginning. I was sending videos out left, right and centre to, you know, who's in my dog and burns, to let them know off BitChute. Ones very sadly were passing away left, right and centre. And that was minutes after coming out of these so-called vaccination places. It wasn't a vaccine. That ones have said it's a vaccine. This is not a vaccine. This was designed as a, there we are, as a death and disablement, stumbling again, not changing my video, injection. I will never ever forget about this. No, I will not. And not when I know what it's done to dear loved ones, dear friends, you know, and many on very sadly my road for everybody. So no. You know, I've had dear friends on this road, my delicious little babies, who's no longer here. Very sadly, because of that snake oil. And the thing is, there's many families, there we are, who know what the truth is now. Going to be interesting to see, isn't it? Yeah. Now, finally, just keep joining dots here, there, and everywhere on my bloody page. My delicious little babies. So, this is everything lowercase, all in lowercase on Quack Quack Go, Duck Duck Go. Everything, full stop, explained, full stop today. Now, the other day, was it last week? And there we are, completely forgot to mention this. For some reason, my noddle went back to 10007. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, so 1007. Having trouble getting on this particular, you know, everything explained today. I've tried a number of times. My delicious little babies just couldn't. The only thing it was showing up with is Wikipedia, but if there's any journalists out there, you know, because there are some dearer journalists, you know, who are decent, you know. Of course, you got the other ones who are flipping believe their own bullshit, you know what I mean? Well, you know, you may be able to find out a bit more, you know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Anyway. Yeah, interesting. Now then, my delicious little babies. So not long after I moved in here, I want to talk about this as well. So I was in my kitchen one evening and it was dark because I went in to go and get myself a drink. And I thought, you know, because I've gone from the bedroom to the kitchen. And I thought, I'm coming out the kitchen. And it's not long after I moved here, which is nearly 10 years ago now. Okay? So I'll probably say, I would have probably said it was about a year or under. No, it wasn't actually. No, it wasn't. It was only months. Okay, I'm out of the shit, baby. So I'm walking out the kitchen. Now, for those of you who know my delicious babies, you know that I'm a spiritual woman, you know, with my readings and everything like this now. And there was this tall man, all dressed in light black, with a great big top hat. And there we are. And I remember telling my friends this. I remember saying, this is what happened last night in my kitchen. Now, it's not a real man. He wasn't a real man. He was a ghost. He was a spirit, a ghost. Because I found myself, my delicious babies, and I had this, was it a few days ago as well, I haven't mentioned, since for some reason this is, there we are, coming back again. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'll find out. There's always a reason why, but a few days ago, I felt like something was right by my door, you know, my kitchen door. So as I was coming out, it sort of looked like this long black thing. It's really hard to explain, okay, my delicious little babies. And it's like I had to walk round it. But the kitchen door was open. There's nothing blocking that area, that part of the area. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, so I walked round it. But getting back to this now, then, the matter in hand. So, and I found myself saying to this dear ghost, dear spirit, in his top hat, he's very tall. He towered over myself. He wasn't quite up to the ceiling, but he was very tall. Okay? And I found myself saying, oh, sorry, you know, and walked round him. I've had other strange things happen. I've been saying it over my years of being on YouTube. Okay? Now, he's clearly not here to harm me. No. But there is a story behind the top hats. And this is why I want to mention it. So it's just come back to you. It's coming back. There we are. It's coming back again. And there's a reason why. And that was the early hours of this morning, because I've been on and off again with my sleeping pattern. So I'm not really, shall I say, I'm not sleeping as well as what I should be. My spirit's just not resting. It's really hard for me to explain what I'm saying, but my spirit's not resting. And when it's like this, like, is it for 2 days? I had my left eye jumping in, which usually means when it jumps, it usually means that you're going to hear disappointment or you're going to hear bad news. And usually, there we are, it comes to pass every time. Anyway, something's going on anyway. I know it sounds like I'm mad, little babies, you know what I mean? But I'm not. It's so hard for me to explain. There we are, to explain what I'm saying. I wish I could put it into better words, but I cannot at this point in time. So I'm going to read something out to you, Mards, little babies. Now, what I've done, I've taken this from Quack Quack Go, okay, Mards, little babies. And what I typed in was, when was the top hat? And then when you look at it, it gives you a list of, and then I just clicked on, you know, when was the top hat invented? Now, this brings me to a little site. And I just took bits and pieces out, Mards, little babies, you know what I mean? And I'm going to read it out to you. A hat that turned heads. It is the 16th of January, 1797, and there's a commotion on the streets of London. Dogs, oh, I hate that word, I prefer to call them our little babies. Dogs are barking, children are screaming and running away in fear. Women are fainting. What is the terror? It is none other than John Hetherington sporting his new silk hat. It is called a top hat because of its height. So that's basically why it's called a top hat, because of its height. Okay, Mards, little baby. So I've taken a bit from somewhere else. So I just added that bit on. I did do a full stop and then, do you know what I mean? We do know that man about town, Beau, B-E-A-U, Brummel, is seen holding one in his hand in a drawing in 1805. Beaver fur fell in popularity around the 1830s. The last factory to make silk plush, because that's what it was called silk plush, because when the silk was, you know, to do with the top hat, it was sort of like brushed a certain way, you know, I suppose, to make it look more luxurious. You know, like when you look at silk, there we are. It's like when you look to make it look more. Anyway, I'll just repeat that again. The last factory to make silk plush closed in 1968. The best top hats are made with fur felt known as Melusine. Okay, my delicious little babies. So that's that. That's what I wanted to explain to you. Now, you're probably wondering, so in the Claire's Bar book, we need to go backwards to where we need to go back to. So you're probably wondering, well, what's this crazy woman talking about? What I'm talking about, my delicious little babies, okay, is I went to a couple of, I'm going back many years ago now. Where was it? There was one in Tamworth, which is about 40 minutes away from where I live. And where was the other one? I do know that I went to a reader in Aston, but like I said, I'm going back many years ago. I'm probably going back with the one in Tam. I think both of them. I think a couple of decades ago now. Or the one. That's got to be about, I think that's probably got to be about 10 years ago with that woman in Tamworth. So I am mistaken. I'm sorry about that. But the other one was a couple of decades ago. That was in Aston. And I do remember, because you get given a tape that you can play back. Well, with that one in Aston, I did anyway. And when I brought it back to play it, it wouldn't play. It was blank. And that woman specifically made sure that she pressed record because I watched her do it. Now, I was with a friend at the time, a dear friend, bless her. And her tape was fine. But mine wasn't. So, what is it that I'm saying? There were these two women, different readers, okay, who both said, "Who's John?" Now, I'm not talking about, I've known the odd John, not in that way, not in that way, over the decades, my delicious babies. And I do happen to have a dear friend, John, and he's a beautiful, dear little family now, his dear little wife and his dear little family. Bless her, such a beautiful little family. But these two women were talking about another John. But what's the point? I'm saying, anyway, I couldn't link it because it's somebody who clearly was in spirit. And to this day, I do not know who the John was. Right, but anyway, let me just get back to the matter in hand. So going back to this now with the top hat man. What I want to know is, why was the top hat man in my kitchen? There we are. That's what I want to know. Clearly telling me something. Okay, my delicious baby. So that's the point I'm making. But it seems that something else is happening. And it seems to be between, from what I can gather of all of this, from July, things always seem to happen between the month of July and the month of December, especially with myself in this flat. Now, it's got nothing to do with any bad energy in the home. There isn't any bad energy. Anybody who comes and walks in, anybody who's spiritual, they walk through the door, they would clearly say to myself, there's no bad energy. And that doesn't mean, yes, there's no bad energy in here. I mean, yes, that they'd say it to me. But, if I say to them, I say, that there's nothing here. They says, yeah, we cannot feel a thing. You know what I mean? So, so it's not that. It's that spirit is wanting to stay close to me. There we are. But trying to tell me something, like sometimes I could be in bed. I was getting this quite a lot, actually, my delicious babies, or for years. It started up again, actually. And it's like I feel, so I'm lying in my bed And then I feel as if there is a spirit coming and lying right behind me. And then it's all down my one leg, whichever side I'm lying on. So if I'm lying on, my left side, I can feel it all this side. If I'm lying on that side, it doesn't always happen. It mainly happens the other way. So you cannot see the spirit, but I can feel its presence. It's like it's lying next. This is really, really, I have said this years ago, okay, my delicious little babies to friends, I have said, and I probably sound like some sort of crackers nutty woman. I'm not. But whatever spirit it is seems to feel comfort lying next to me. My delicious little babies, do you understand what I mean? But I cannot see, but they're not there for long. Like years ago, and this probably sounds like I don't want to be too personal or anything, too much information, but I thought that they were trying to get a bit personal with me, you know what I mean? I sort of felt like it's really hard for me to explain, but they don't do it these days. They haven't done it for years. They haven't done it for years. Sorry, my delicious little babies. That was just me, dear cousin coming in. So, yeah. But they haven't done it for years. They just sort of lie next to me now, or whoever it is lies next to me. There's been a little girl who's passed away in the corner of the room. And about age 9 or 10, something like that, bless her. So I do get this. My delicious little bit. It's really hard for me to explain. There's no need for me to stumble. I know what I'm talking about. And very lastly, so I took my other video down a couple of days ago, not because I'm going to apologise for anything I said, because I'm not apologising for nothing. What I will say is, I spared a thought and I thought, you know what, sometimes, Carly, you just get too peed off and I get too angry sometimes, okay? So therefore, I need to calm myself down because I get very frustrated with what's going on in the world. And, well, how we're treated in some way. Do you understand what I mean? And I get really peed off about it. But I should curb my swearing. Okay? I try my best not to swear on a video. But occasionally I have a bit of an issue with it. But I'm not apologising. So if anyone's downloading my video or whatever, I'm not apologising for anything I said on the video. However, to do with the swearing part, I should have really controlled myself. So that's myself looking back at it and saying, okay, everything what I said, there we are, I was done saying. I'm not taking it back. Okay? Because there's lots going on in the world. Okay? Nobody's perfect. You know, many make mistakes. I'm the queen of it. My delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But when I spared a thought, I thought, no. I thought, I'll redo the video. I wrote it down. It was a couple of days ago, so I'll redo the video. I'm not going to do it today because I feel, there we are, that I've talked about many things today. And you probably think, well, anyway, those who really know myself, okay, whether in the flesh, you know, not in that way, not in that way, in the flesh, like dear friends, our beautiful dear friends, okay, mine. Well, I'm a beautiful little Riz, beautiful little Riz, our beautiful dear little friends. They already know me. Or if anybody's so kind enough to watch my videos, okay? Because I suppose when you watch different videos, I suppose you get used to others. And I suppose, what was it? I heard somebody say, no, I've seen it in a comment somewhere where somebody had put, you feel as if you know them, you know who you're watching, you know, it's like that sort of thing. Anyway, but for anybody who, you know, happens to stumble across my channel, okay, I'm not a bitch. Sometimes I get annoyed at things. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I cannot be a bitch, because I suppose everybody, you know, can have the moments, no matter who we are. You know what I mean? But sometimes I just get very irritated. And sometimes I should learn to control that. So that is where I've seen that in myself. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? But I'll do a run of the video, but just slightly differently. Minus the swearing. Okay, my delicious little babies. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families all be fully protected. Please look after yourselves. Please try to take care of others. How I love you all so. You're all so beautiful, wonderful, delicious, and I love you. Thank you for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments. No, there's other videos that I left up that I did swear on. And there was one particular one, oh yes, that will always stay up. Because that's personal to myself, to do with somebody in my family. So I made sure that one stayed up. And I think that's about 3 years ago. And I feel no way, because I'm not taking it down. Ever. Unless somebody does. So, how I love you so. Thank you once again for listening. Take care. Love ya. Goodbye.